Welcome back to our city, and this week I'm joined with Dr. Lorraine Cook, and we're going to talk about Egenolf Daycare Center. Hello, how are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, you weren't on the show before. This is
No.
your first time.
Yes.
So we'll go slowly and make you feel comfortable and not nervous, all right?
Thank you.
All right. Tell us about your background, where you're from, and how did you get involved with Egenolf?
Well, when I was a young girl, I wanted nothing more than to be an early childhood teacher.
Okay.
And that was basically because I fell in love with my kindergarten teacher. So I did everything that you need to do to get a degree, including going to Kane University for my bachelor's degree, at which point I did get a job as a kindergarten teacher. And I was there for 5 years, and I decided to venture out and go into more business-oriented work. And during that experience, I was a sales manager, and I ran some small organizations. And I just realized at that point that education was really in my heart, and I had to get back to it. So this position at Egenolf became available, and it was a great marriage of my background in education as well as my business management skills. So that was in 1993. I started working at Egenolf. And it's funny that when you do the work that you really love, it makes you, it just opens up so many doors for you. So I decided to pursue my doctorate in early childhood education management programs. So that just helped me become a child advocate and to be a really good business manager for what young children need.
Now, you started in Egenolf in '93, and a few years prior to that, I was a young lad. And I remember my mother trying to get me into Egenolf, and I didn't want to go. I was kicking and screaming. I wanted to stay home, and my best friend was there, and I regret it to this day. I should have went to Egenolf. But it was on Elizabeth Avenue.
Yes.
Is that where it started? What's the history of Egenolf?
Egenolf, at the time, it was called Elizabeth Day Nursery. Started in 1890, December 4th, 1890, on Spring Street. And it was started by several society women who realized that young children needed early care, or child care actually, because their mothers were out working. And the day nursery started with, I think it was 7 children, and it was 24-hour care actually. So they got nutrition, they got nursing, they got health, they got education as well. It grew in such popularity that shortly the organization had to move to a site on Pearl Street, but ended up on Elizabeth Avenue. And it was through the generous donation of the Egenolf family that they ended up on Elizabeth Avenue. So at the time, in 1900, the organization became incorporated, and then in 1904, they moved into the Egenolf family home and changed the name to Egenolf Day Nursery in honor of the family. And then again, it outgrew its quarters, so in 1973, we moved to where we are currently located at 725 Newark Avenue, which was the former NCR cash register building.
Wow. Now, from the biographical history of the center, Egenolf went from nursery to preschool. How do you feel that it has influenced the center's trajectory?
Well, it started as a day nursery, and a nursery school has a different connotation. It's more of a part-time program. A daycare center is also different in that a daycare center has a connotation of being more custodial. We became a preschool because the Abbott versus Burke court order dictated that 31 districts in New Jersey had to provide free preschool to all the 3- and 4-year-old children that resided in those districts. So it just was a perfect time for Egenolf to grab hold of the opportunity and contract in order to be able to provide those services. So that's when we became a preschool. The really big difference in a preschool is that a preschool has certified teachers, whereas a daycare or a nursery school doesn't necessarily have to have certified teachers.
Now, when it comes to education, what's the mission on education?
What Egenolf's mission is to meet each child developmentally where they are, and to provide them the best experiences that that we can provide for them, play-based experience, so that they can grow and learn and to develop into the best that they can be. This is going to be the first entree for many children into the education system, so we want to develop a real love for learning in these children. So having that play-based experience is something that we hope builds that love for learning.
And right now, roughly, what's the current capacity? How many children do you have over there?
Right now we have 150 children. Our licensing capacity is larger, but we keep the classroom sizes down to 15 children per classroom.
A few years ago, I was over there and we did something with butterflies or something. And
Yes.
the amazing thing was that every child had a smile on their face.
Yes.
They were very happy.
Yeah.
And that means that the children are reaching, the teachers are reaching the children. So roughly, what's the children to child ratio over there?
We have 10 classrooms, and each of the classrooms has 15 children with a teacher and an assistant. So it's roughly 7.5 children to one adult in the classroom.
And what are some of the goals with regard to growth, education, and serving such a diverse population?
Well, recognizing cultural differences is really, really, really important. And it's not just something specific to Elizabeth. Throughout the country, we're realizing that diversity is something that we really have to pay attention to. And with that cultural diversity comes the differing views from parents and how they want their children educated and the experiences that they would like to have. So for us, it was really important to make sure that we included the family in everything that we did. So for example, when we first get to know the families, the first time that they come to our center, we spend about an hour and a half with them, having conversations with them about what their practices at home are with their children, so that we can integrate those practices in the classroom as well.
Is there any problem when it comes to religious backgrounds after having the interview or anything?
Oh, no. We are very respectful for that. So we tend to steer away from any kind of religious celebrations.
Right.
Everything that we do is about children,
Okay.
with deep respect for family culture.
Now, a few years ago when I was a young lad, the big thing back then was finger painting. And this time of the year, we put our hand on the paper and make the turkey. Do the children still do that or no?
Yeah, we give them different kinds of art experiences. They will have the opportunity to do that. But I remember even when I was a kindergarten teacher and when I was in school, the teacher would produce, would show a picture of this is what we're going to do today as far as our art is concerned, and then every child's work had to look the same. We give the children the materials that they can be artistic with, but they don't have a template that they have to follow. So we let the children be very creative, and some of the work is just remarkable, and you've seen it when
Yes.
you're at the center.
Now, in your capacity as the educator over there, how have you seen Egenolf grow over the years?
In my tenure, my 23 years, it's grown just incredibly, and that's in large part due to the fact that the brain research was the most important thing, which let us know that early childhood education is so very important for young children to keep their brains active and alive. And then over time, research has showed that quality early childhood experiences also help to create children to be successful both in future school and in life. So the funding has changed, the political will has changed. It's just a remarkable difference, and it's fantastic.
Now, Egenolf, as you mentioned earlier, has been around for years, and it's a household name here in the city of Elizabeth. Do you have to advertise, or how do families find you?
No, in fact, on December 9th, we're celebrating our 125th anniversary in the city at Snyder Academy between 6 and 8. And we have such word of mouth. We have generations coming to our center, and it's very rewarding for me. Just a couple weeks ago, a florist came to deliver flowers to one of the teachers at the center, and he said, I went to Egenolf when I was young, and I said, that's really great. You work for a florist now. He said, no, I own the florist. So it's nice to know that we're cultivating lively economy in the city too as well. So it's been just great to see the changes.
And in saying that, what sets Egenolf apart from the other early childhood centers?
Well, I think it's our reputation. We've been around for such a long time, and I would like to say that I think Egenolf has a reputation for advocacy. And I know that I like to cultivate advocacy skills in my staff, because it's important for them as teachers to be child advocates. But I think also because I work with the parents in that regard too. We have family workers who our jobs are to help parents become advocates for their children's education, because oftentimes parents are fearful of discussing their children's education with teachers, and we show them how it's okay to do that. So I think that might be a little bit of the difference, and of course our reputation. We are also accredited by the National Association for the Education of Young Children, and we were the first early childhood program in the city to get that designation. So we're really proud of that, and we still hold on to it to this day. So I think a combination of our high quality, our reputation, and the fact that we are out there as far as child advocacy is concerned is helpful.
Okay. Do you supply transportation for the children?
We do not.
Okay. And are there any field trips or anything like that take place? Or?
Yes, we always go to the pumpkin farm in October. It's one of those. It's not just a trip where kids get on a bus and they go have fun somewhere. It's the teachers lead up to the experience where they do examination of vegetables and how things grow, and then we take them to the pumpkin patch and they pick their pumpkins. There are animals where they get to firsthand experience them. They go on a hayride, so it's a lot of fun for them.
Right.
And then historically in the spring, we've gone to a butterfly farm where there are just butterflies everywhere, and the children are just fascinated by that.
Can you tell us some of the in-house activities that the children participate in, as far as programming, something on that nature the parents can come in and watch?
Well, of late, we've been doing a lot of multicultural events because we're celebrating the vast diversity in each of the classrooms. So we invite parents to come in and celebrate their cultures with the kids. So, and not only the cultures, but also the diversity as far as their employment is concerned. We've had parents that have done baking with the children in the classroom. We've had florists come in to do floral arrangements with the kids. Some police officers in town come and share their experiences. The children take nature walks in the neighborhood, and we also use the business in the area. Stop and Shop has been something that has been very helpful with us as far as the children going and experiencing the vegetable aisle, for example, and finding out all kinds of different fruits and vegetables. The teachers capitalize on the children's interests. So it's not something that's prescriptive in that they'll say in December we're going to talk about green because there's trees all over the place. It's what's ever emergent from the children. So whatever their interests are, the teachers will take that a step further. We've seen some children ask about the moon, for example, and teachers would then go into a whole research project on the solar system. Right. And so it's just if you walk down our hallways, you'll see the interesting experiences that kids have all the time because of the interest that they're bringing to the teachers. We're
going to take a brief pause here, and we'll be back and talk to you some more about the great work of Egenolf, okay?
Okay.
We'll be back with the second half of Our City after these words. Thank you.
We're an American original, dependable, historic, nuanced, with all the comforts of home, even when you're just visiting. So we're celebrating for all that we've left untouched and all that we've changed. A place where the past meets the future. So consider this your invitation.
We've been celebrating here in Elizabeth for 350 years, and we're just getting started.